I gave some options here. None. They are stupid. 9%. The agenda below here on the right, we're going to go over what sold, on what postcards that I've sold on eBay, Etsy, and HIP. And also I'm going to show you a few toy items from our toy store that sold real quick, just to give you an idea that we are diverse and not just selling postcards, we do dabble in the other things. Then the special topic today is anthropomorphic postcards. Animals acting like humans is basically what that is. So we're going to go over those. And then I have a poll. What percentage of eBay item specifics do you fill out? This came from a user, Reclamation, I forgot the name. But these were a couple questions they had, and I got one comment on that one. Got a lot of participation and what people think, and you'll see what that is. And then I got some viewer comments, and one of them was a question about my storage and what it costs to do the sleeves. So stick around for that. Let's get into what solds. I've sold a lot of cards overnight. On eBay I sold 17 cards worth about $90. Etsy $4, or 4 cards for $20. HIP 0. So total cards 21 for $110. Then I sold four toy items worth $202. One of them they paid $55 to ship because of the new USPS shipping things. I'll show you that real quick. This toy here is a anniversary Wolverine figure from Marvel. He sold for $22.05, and that's brand new from my distributor, right from the manufacturer. That went out first class to the States. The next one is Superman. These are 1/18 scale, means they're smaller. I bought a whole case of like 16 or 12 of these, and Superman's not the biggest seller. So if you see Superman out there, my experience is he's one of the lower ones to sell, unless it's the older Migos and stuff like that. But Superman doesn't do that well, but I like these 1/18 scale. They're brand new last year. And they've sold pretty well, but they're kind of a slower seller. That sold for $22.05. Then somebody in Hawaii bought this Toys R Us Animal Planet dinosaur set. These are not going to be able to be found anymore because they don't make them, and Toys R Us basically isn't there anymore. And I brought the price down because of the USPS shipping. I only have like $1 into this. I bought a big truckload of toys about 1.5 years ago, and this is one of the items from that. This was pre-boxed, ready to go before the new dimensional shipping. If you have a box larger in a certain size, they start doing an add-on cost. But they paid $22.25 for the item and $55 to ship it to Hawaii. Hope this thing doesn't come back. These are not really toys to play with most of the time. These are collectors. And I think the box on this one was okay, but the way that a lot of this lot was stored, a lot of the packaging deteriorated because there was no humidity, or there was a lot of humidity and no air conditioning or anything in the house. So I had to go through, and this is one of them that made it. And then I had a ton of these G.I. Joes come out, the classified series. This is the Cobra Commander, $18.50, first class shipping somewhere in the States. Cobra Commander didn't do as well as some of the other ones. So that was 4 toy items worth $202. So that offsets some of the slow days, either side toys or what happened. We used to have about 3,000 listings or more in the toy store with a ton of quantity. About 1 year ago I decided to downsize the toys, get out of the storage units, just downsize. It was becoming too big and too much, and wanted to focus on postcards, and these are the remnants. I'm going to still keep 100 to 300 items in the store, but right now I got about 170, 180 items in there with a quantity of about 500, and they're all stored here, so I don't have any extra charge, and they're all paid for, so just waiting for them to sell. But let me get into the Etsy cards that sold. Let me do the 4 cards on Etsy first. Now Etsy is slower. It can cost more if they don't sell, but I've been putting these naval ships up there like one card at a time, and this one sold USS Rodney M. Davis. Just a commercial chrome card of the Navy ship. Sold for $465. Next one is not a Navy ship. It's the Southern Seminary and Junior College for Girls. Vertical card, university, college, gotta pick them up. $4.65, unposted chrome card. Good card stock. Somebody probably went there, so I sold a memory. Here's another naval ship on Etsy, USS South Dakota, BB57. I probably have another 200-300 of these cards, but I only put one up on Etsy and the rest went on eBay. And what I'll do is when I go through the solds on Etsy, I do it about once or twice a month, is I'll just, if I have more of these cards, then I'll just reactivate the listing and put another card out. I'll deduct one from the quantity on eBay and add a quantity to Etsy and just throw it right back up there. Very easy listing, but I don't want to put like 50 on Etsy and stuff like that. Even though it doesn't cost more, it's easier just to do it that way. I found on Etsy they sell better. Then this one is USS Rendova, a carrier assault ship. Same thing I'm going to do. If I have more of these cards, then I'll just deduct the quantity on eBay and up the quantity on Etsy. But those were the Etsy cards, worth about $20, 4 cards. Let me do some of these eBay ones since I got a good stack of them. The first one is Crystal Dining Room, Pick Ohio Hotel, Youngstown, Ohio. Just a buffet table. Maybe someone worked there or whatever. Sold for $4.55. Now I've been putting up lately, I got a lot and they had all these state birds. I mean, there's probably 50, you know, all the states. This is the New Mexico state bird, the Roadrunner. They got like an edge here, like a scallop edge kind of. Most of them are posted. This was posted in 1982, but the Roadrunner. So I put them all up there and they sold for $4.55. Next one is First Church of Christ Scientist, Cincinnati, Ohio, white border card. Church just sell. Not the fastest sellers, but they do sell. $4.55. Divine Vineyard, South House, Falmouth Heights, Massachusetts. This came from that private collection, and this sold for like $6, $6.55. It's not a real photo postcard. It's a divided back, and it was posted, doesn't say. That's what it is, the Vineyard Sound House. $4.55. Next one I sold was a wharf scene, Ohio River, Louisville, Kentucky. Look at those old cars on that ship. That's probably what sold it, right there. $4.55, chrome card. Let me get through a couple more of these here. Watch Hill, Rhode Island, the full moon shines on a rolling sea. This was from that private collection as well. This sold for $5.55. Linen card, night scene. The night scene sell. Then I have a naval cover that I sold. Now I just found out when I went to do these the other day, these are actually going eBay standard envelope now. I don't have to put them in a stamp and a label, so that's going to help me stay with top rated seller basically. Now if they can only get the photos, then I would be good. But this is going, I put them in a eBay bigger envelope, so it's 73 cents instead of 53 cents or longer, and it's a little heavier. But these are actually going there, and this is USS Orin, and that's what they're buying. They're buying that stamp right there. And there's nothing in this one. But that one sold for $4.55. And the last one I'll do for right now is a raccoon. This last lot I've been putting up lately has got a lot of animals. Animals do sell. A lot of times I'll sell them overseas because people don't see these types of animals in their countries, or kids or school teachers and stuff like that. But a raccoon, $4.55. A lot of people wouldn't list cards like that. They'll put them in the quarter box. Now let me get into anthropomorphic postcards. And what is that? There's metamorphic I did, and there's anthropomorphic postcards. So let me walk through what the definition is, and don't worry, it's a big name, but basically, in a nutshell, it's animals acting like humans. So anthropomorphism, the attribution of human characteristics or behavior to non-human entities, including animals. That is what I will focus on today, is animals depicted as human on postcards. So animals depicted as humans on postcards. Now you're probably familiar with the dogs playing poker images, those velvet paintings and stuff like that. I'm going to show you what those prices are. It's kind of amazing what these people, what they're selling for and what these people are listing. So I'm going to show that in a little bit. But other things about anthropomorphism or anthropomorphic postcards. The word derived from the Greek anthropos, which is human, and morph, which is form, so human form. So it came from the Greek language. Anthropomorphism, ascribing human characteristics to non-human things. So it's just not animals. People over history have reported seeing human features in landforms, clouds, and trees, like a bridge in the clouds, like animals in the trees, or a face on a mountain. Like that postcard that you always see, old man in a mountain. Or if you look you lay down in the grass and look up in the sky, you see a rabbit in the clouds. That's anthropomorphism, is what they're saying. Now there's a lot of different artists that I saw as I was researching these cards. I don't sell a lot of these cards. I don't find them that often. When I do, they're probably priced out of the way, but I don't remember seeing a lot of them. But there's a couple artists I'm going to pull out here. The first one is artist Alfred Manzer. I think I'm saying it right. Clothed Cats. This is one that was pretty prolific on the websites, but here's the prices for his cards. These are the sold ones. And these were all auctions. So one sold for $3.90 plus 80 cents shipping, so $4 or $5. The next one was $5.50 for $1 something, so $6, $7. Next one was $4 to $5. So these are all the cats that actually sold from Alfred Manzer. So when you see Alfred Manzer, you're thinking, okay, $4 to $5. There might be some that are even more, but I would research each one. But look at what these people are listing these things for. $14.95, $5 shipping, $20 card. $12.95, $5 shipping, $20 card. $11 or $12, $17 card. But they're only selling for $4 to $5. Is it a tough sell? Are they going to end up, they got best offer on everything. But if you had a $20 card and someone offered $5 for it, then they say they're lowballs. But that's what the market's bearing right now. So where would you price these cards? That's the decision we do every day. Me, I would probably go between, if they're not a special card that I found, I haven't sold for a lot and they're fallen into the average, $5 to $7 is probably where I would start. Free shipping, free returns, and see what I could do with them there. But my goal is to move the cards. So you can price them high and sit on them, but I like to move inventory. And if the cards are very special, I'll let them sit. But these types of cards, I would probably $5 to $7, $8, and just see what I could get out of them. The next artist is Margaret Tempest. Is another one that I saw a lot of it as I was going through grabbing these. Now hers are about the same as Alfred Mann. First one was $5.88, 75 cents shipping, so $6 to $7. That's on the high side of the ones we just saw. The next one is $3.79. Next one is $4, $2, $6. So they're falling in the $5 to $7 range as well. So there's nothing really that special over Alfred that Margaret has, that I see. If I'm looking for these, then I know the artist really doesn't play that much into it. Now I could be wrong, but I'm not a big artist sign person. But these just popped out to me. Then you look at the listed on here. People are more, I guess, okay with the pricings there. You got $10, 15% off. Buy it now. You got another one, $4, 75 cents, so $5 to $6. $3. These have a better chance of selling than those other ones at $20, $15, $20. People are doing okay, I think, with their research on Margaret Tempest. But both of them are about the same things. Now let's get into these dogs. Everybody has seen, hopefully, that these dogs. Go to any flea market, you'll find the velvet things and the dog sitting around the table playing poker and stuff like that. That's anthropomorphic. I was curious, so I went out and I wanted to see what people are selling these things for, because I've seen these for years. So the solds on these are $9, $10, $9, $10, $6, $7. So $7 to $10 is what these postcards have actually sold for. These are actual solds on eBay. And these are all the dogs playing poker. Now let's look at what these people are listing them at. So there's the same card that I just showed you that sold for $7. Somebody's got $68.50 on there. Now is it because it's an older card, or is there something special about that card over the other card? Could be. I don't see it. And I probably won't research that much because I don't see them that often. But $68 to $7, there's got to be something there. Or people are just trying, just out of their mind. Same seller, same card, 1906. It looks like it's the same seller. The top rated plus, 4-day shipping. $68.50 for that one too. It's the same card I just showed, $7. And then you got another one that's a black and white of that card, $59 for that. So right there, it's just out of line for me. So I wouldn't even probably go down the rabbit hole and see what's there. It's not worth my time. I think they're out of line. But then I could be wrong. You never know. So maybe I would miss something there, but dogs playing pokers are not worth $70 to me. But let's go through regular anthropomorphic, not just these artists, not just the dogs playing poker. What other cards are out there? Now, when I did this, I looked for sold high, sold low, list high, list low on the word anthropomorphic in the title. What I was seeing on the sold highs were mostly Halloween cards. $89.75, $4 shipping, so $90 card. $79.99, free shipping. Halloween card, $59.25. So the higher ones were prolific Halloween cards. So if you see Halloween cards with anthropomorphic, those are stop me to take a closer look at them. Then you look at the sold lows. You got this one for $12.99, another one for $12, another one for $14. So $10 to $12 is what these other cards are selling for. Not those artists that were selling $5 to $7. These are actually selling $10 to $14. So there is some money in these. They're better than an average card if they're okay. So you want to do your homework if you do find these. But then let's look at the listed. Now on the listed, I took Halloween out. I just removed Halloween because it was throwing off all the averages. Halloween cards are hard to find sometimes. Not everybody like me out there looking is going to find a Halloween card. Very rarely do I see a good Halloween card out there. Very rarely. They're usually already in collections or they're on eBay for sale, priced so high that there's nothing in it for a reseller or for me for a private collection. But listed, this person listed this card, Anthropomorphic Easter Bunny Smoking, plus 3 other Easter postcards. So you get 3 postcards for $60, $55 on there. 7 postcards, $50. So they're lotting these up, which is a good thing, like Easter cards. You lot them up. Then you get into the Anthropomorphic Rooster there, $22, and another postcard. You get 2 for $20. So that's what I'm seeing is a lot of lots of these on there. And that might be a good way to go. People get a 6-pack of postcards or a 12-pack. But then we look at the listed low. This is a vintage anthropomorphic Albert Manser Cats Postcards Fantasy Dress Seamstress, $3.89. So it's only, $3.89. 2 postcards, Molly Bread Artist Sign, Woodland Garage, and Car Park Anthropomorphic, $6.78. You get 2 postcards for $6.78, and they've already priced it down 15%. And it looks like they got a 25% or something there also. Basically, in my head, if I was looking at anthropomorphic postcards, if they weren't Halloween, I know I could sell them for $5 to $8. That's how I think. That's what I would know. And if I find something that's more, that's a $10 to $15 card when I do the research when I go to list it, that's fine. But if I pick it up in a box at an antique mall or a flea market, or I get it on a lot, I'd put it to the side knowing that I would get a little bit more for them. But to find a gem in these, you'd have to do a little research, and as more you sell of them, more experience you get with anthropomorphic. But they're really neat to look at, especially the cats with clothes on and different things like that. They really make for fun cards to look at. But that's anthropomorphic postcards. $5 to $7, $5 to $8, average card. Probably get that for it. Might sit a little while, but you get it. Who knew? Now let me finish up these what sold cards. Sold another Pentagon. This is like 2 in 2 weeks. Pentagon. If you got a Pentagon out there, get it out there. Aerial view of the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. I think it's almost the same card that I sold before. Banner card to Big Bend, Texas. These always do well for $4.55. Not big sellers. They take a little while, but I always pick up those in the map cards. So Big Bend, Texas, $4.55. Just a chrome card. Next one is a Mission, I think. or Conway Terrell and his home, Hollywood. Must be a movie star or something. This is really well kept. This is a lasted the test of time. It does have a little bit of stuff in the corner, but I don't disclose that. Not that bad. But that's not a white border. It's kind of weird ink on there. $4.55. Next one's from this private collection was two cards for $10. This was a bomber airplane, Flying Fortress. Just a linen card. Neat looking card. I got that for $5.55. I think I sold for. And then the next one out of that collection was Wentinger's Restaurant, Gladstone, Michigan. Look at that car. That's what sold it. That, and it's a restaurant and that car. So I got like $4.55 for that. Poughkeepsie Bridge. This is from that private collection as well. And if you didn't see that, right up here is the thumbnail for the first album. There was 8 albums in that collection, and I did a video for each one, and I did stats at the end to show you what I'm doing, and I'm going to update throughout the year how I'm doing with that collection. And in sneak preview, I'm not doing too bad. Things have slowed down. They've cherry-picked all the good cards, but now it's kind of selling here and there. It's going to take a while. But this is the bridge at Poughkeepsie on the Hudson. Not a bad looking card. Got $5.55 or $6.50 for this on there. Just a divided back card. The line is there. It's just real light. Good card stock. Not a bad sell. Got a couple more cards here. This is another one from that collection. This is Greetings from Rhode Island. Just shows going into the inlet there. Chrome card, posted 1982. Chrome card, $4.55. Pontchartrain Hotel, New Orleans. Little Louisiana South French retro stuff. $4.55. And this one just came in right before I did this, so I grabbed it. This is the USS Dogfish, SS-350 submarine. It's one of those prints on lighter cardstock going in continental sleeve. eBay standard envelope for 53 cents. Sold for $4.55. I got an unlimited number of these cards. It's just ungodly how many Navy ships I got. So all the postcards that sold, just to recap again, 17 on eBay for $90, 4 on Etsy for $20, 0 on HIP. Total postcards $110, 4 toys for $92. My total for today is $202. I'll take it. Profit percent is probably pretty good across the board. This is the latest poll. One of them I put out there, and I grab them, and they, more people can participate in it after I grab these numbers. So if you go out and look at it, instead of 57 votes, it might have 67. But it's a snapshot in time. But this poll was about what percentage of eBay item specifics do you fill out when listing a postcard. And I gave some options here. None. They are stupid. 9%. Or people just don't like them. And I've heard that out there in different platforms. People like other platforms because there's not all these things to fill out. It takes longer. 1 to 25% of the items selected fill out, 28%. Second highest was 25 to 50%, so about half of them. 50 to 100% were the little blue circles filled in, 32%, and then other was 2%. One comment just said none. Most people are doing 50 to 100% trying to get the blue circle filled out. Had one comment on here so far, and they said most everything you can fill out with a template if you're listing by card type. I found it if you do it that way, you will have to update a few more items to complete the blue circle. Yes, I use eBay templates. I don't do self-similar or drafts and stuff. I have a template for like the Navy ships, a template for the magazine ads, a template for different things, cards that I do, that are already filled out as much as possible, and I just have to go in, change the title, put the SKU number in, maybe change the city, state, add something in the description, and that's it. The price is there. Most of my cards sell for the same price. I'll adjust the price, whatever. The shipping's the same. So I only have like 3 or 4 clicks or changes I have to do for each one. Now, a lot of people sort ahead of time try to get all the North Carolinas, all the South Carolinas and stuff like that. I just found that I can type and click with my mouse and keyboard faster than I can sit and sort cards in the pile. I will scan a stack of postcards like this, not sort them, and then I'll just put them in a folder, the photos, and I put them in the same order, and I'll just grab the card and I'll just start listing with the template for postcard. Change the title real quick, type that in, get a SKU number, put on my spreadsheet, put the state, whatever, and then put it in there. Now if I went through and sorted all these, then I did that, I'm still changing some things like that, but it's however you want to do it, whatever makes it fast. But I found that I can type faster and click faster than sorting postcards ahead of time. And if one of these cards I don't list, like Niagara Falls or some card I already got, Mount Vernon, then I just put it in the flea market box. If it's something special I see, it goes in the special folder for later on research. So I don't sit there and spend all that time up front. I spend it when I list. So it's the same time, you just do it in different places. But we'll do whatever, there's really no right or wrong there. But that's the polls. They come out on Saturday mornings. I appreciate the participation. If you got any questions for a poll, let me know. I'll try to get it scheduled out there for you if it's a good question. And that's where these came from a viewer. Now we get into viewer comments. And this is not scripted. I just kind of go with the flow here. The first comment I got, someone watched the video about me pulling orders. And they said, wow, thousands of sleeves and labels. Yeah, there is thousands of sleeves and labels, and there's 30, I got 80,000 cards, but a lot of the boats use a divider. They don't have sleeves on them, but most of the cards up there have a individual sleeve, and I'm going to tell you my thinking on it. They said, wow, thousands of sleeves and labels. That's a huge amount of money that you could be saving if you found another way. I'm sure there are other ways, but thank you for your suggestions and your time and effort to share. I appreciate these comments. I love when people challenge stuff like this. Not being negative, but they're saying, hey, is there a better way for you? I think you can do this better. I always like those because it makes you stop and think. One of the biggest things that I see with the resellers that they end up failing with, or they hurt themselves, is not being humble with constructive comments about how they do something. If someone needs to use a different piece of equipment, saying, hey, thermal printers. There's a lot of people out there won't use thermal printers because they've been printing and taping their labels on there for years. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you're selling postcards and you're not using a thermal printer, you need to save up and get one. It is a time saver. Plus they're waterproof, pretty much. Plus you won't go through the ink. There's so many pros. There are some cons, but the pros outweigh the cons. Do the data. But a lot of people are not humble about taking that criticism. They stand firm. This is the way I got to do it. You have to be humble, I found, in life. Now there is some things I will not change. This is the way I do it, and that's it. But I don't stand up on my pulpit, my soapbox, and say this is the way you got to do it and try to get everybody to go that way. It's whatever works for you, or whatever funds you have, whatever you can. If you can't afford a thermal printer, put it on your Christmas list or whatever. Find a used one, or just have it on your wish list. But some people, if you got the money, that would be my next. But I use sleeves on postcards. I put a sleeves on every postcard that I list. Now the ones that are not listed, they're not in sleeves yet, but they're crumb cards. And so I use a Mylar. I stick the SKU label on the sleeve. This is my number for my inventory that I put into the custom label field on Etsy and eBay, so I know what card it is when it sells. This is not good, even removable ones, to put on a postcard. From experience, from experience, do not put these on a postcard. You might be able to get them off in the first hour, but after weeks and weeks of being pressured in a box, they ain't coming off without pulling some ink off of that postcard. You're going to peel it. Just from experience, I know for sure. So that's why I went to sleeves, is to protect the card. I buy sleeves wholesale, and I buy them by larger quantities. Sleeves are less than 2 cents for me. Maybe less than a penny, depends. But for this demonstration, I'm going to say these cost me 2 cents. I'm going to go on the high side. Plus, you never know what's going on when you see things. You have to ask questions. You never know the whole story. Half of those sleeves over there, I got in a big buy. I bought a bunch of postcards one time, and there must have been 4 or 5 boxes with used sleeves in there. So a lot of those sleeves I got for nothing. They just threw them in. So no, it isn't a lot of money. I got them free, but you didn't know that until now. The labels I use are 1 inch by 1 inch. They cost me 0.002 per label, or 5 for a penny. So I can get 5 labels for a penny. And I buy those in larger quantities. I buy 12 to 20, 30,000 at a time, labels. So I get them for a very cheap price. So let's just say between the labels and the sleeves cost me 3 cents. Times 30,000 listings, cards. That's $900. But let's cut that in half because I got those free sleeves, I reuse the sleeves and stuff. That's about $450, $500 of sitting there. So that's all it costs. Not a huge amount of money to store your inventory. Now the time saved by doing that, the reduction of lost cards, defects, not being able to find a card, the time it takes to find a card, the organization to do things, the stress of not being able to find a card, that's the worst feeling in the world, that's priceless. So it works for me. That's priceless. That's the whole deal about this, is those things right there. Now let's put it in perspective. My toys, when I had 3,000 items, I had 2 storage units. One of the storage units, let's take one, was $160 a month. Yeah, they're kind of cheaper down here, but I know the cost have went up since in last year. I think it's about $200 now. I was paying $160, 12 months a year. I was paying $1,920 a year for that storage unit. That's $5.26 a day, or 22 cents an hour, to store my inventory. And with these sleeves and labels, I'm paying about $500 one-time cost. That's it. I don't have to pay rent anymore like that. So that's the neat thing about postcards. They take up a small amount of space. Your initial investment to store them is not that bad, but it isn't anything like the cost of a storage unit. Plus, I don't have to buy bubble wrap and boxes. I put them in an envelope. Envelopes are less than a nickel. So that's the cost of doing the sleeves and the boxes. I spent the money, initial investment, to make the shelving and everything like that, to make it easier. So it's not a job, it's fun. It's not hard to do. But watch these videos where I pull the orders from, and I have them in a couple other videos. That's how it works for me. That's how I think, and it works well. But there's 2 things you never really ask and get a conversation with resellers. That's how you store your inventory and shipping, because you'll get into things like this. But I'm not here to defend it. I'm just saying this is what I do and it works for me. Now if there's something I need to change, I can. But there is a cost here. But over time, I buy things in bulk. When I first started Postcards, I didn't buy 20,000 envelopes or 10,000 envelopes. I bought maybe 500 or 400 because the cash flow wasn't coming. But over time, as I build up, I can buy them more quantity, and that's where you save money. But there's always, you're absolutely right, and I agree with it. And I like the challenge of these questions because it makes you get better. But you got to be humble in this world. You don't know everything. Someone else knows something. Take pieces from everybody and make it your own. But thanks for the question. I appreciate them. Keep them coming. The next question I had is, do you insure your postcard inventory? I probably get this question. It's one of the top 10 questions I get. Yes, I do. I have a business insurance policy that I pay once a year. It's just, I think it's coming up next month. I put money away every month throughout the 12 months to pay for it. It's not that expensive daily. It is one big check I just pay. I can pay it every month, or I can pay it every 6 months, or I can pay it by the year. I just pay it yearly. What it covers is all my equipment that I use for my business, all my inventory, not what they're worth if they sold, but what I paid for them. And that's why I have a list on the spreadsheet of what all this is worth. But all the stuff you see here for the business would not be covered if my house burned. It's personal only is my house insurance. But my business policy covers this. It also covers a lot of other stuff. If someone come in and scam me and drain my bank accounts. Now I do have a higher deductible, so it has to be a certain amount. Or if they slander, if say I had an employee that did something wrong. So it covers a big umbrella of things. It also covers me at flea markets for a certain amount of money if someone comes there and trips over something. One of the biggest things that people don't think about, if I sell a toy, and some kid pokes his eye with a sword or some little weapon that came with it, somebody else made, and they want to go back and some lawyer wants to do a lawsuit. Who are they going to name? They're going to name the manufacturer, they're going to name the seller, they're going to name the platform, they're going to name you. Now, I don't have that much liability on it because I didn't make the product. I just sold it as is in a sealed package. So probably the litigation, if I went to court, would go more for the manufacturer. Plus, they're going to get more money out of them. What I need this money for is to have my lawyer get me out of this. That's what insurance will do. It's not to go to court and all that stuff. It's to get you out of these things, and that could cost $10,000 to $20,000. So that's another thing that people don't think about insurance, is lawyers that take guidance and stuff like that. So that business policy will cover that up to a certain amount. My computers, my lights, my cameras, all that stuff would need to be replaced. And I've built it up over time, but that's what insurance is. So ask your homeowner's company if they have a business policy for small business at home. That's all I did. I just called up my rep and, oh yeah, we got this. And they asked me a few questions, put it on there. When I had the storage units, I added a rider on there and they covered the storage unit. So yes, I'm insured. I'm covered for all that. Next question is more about these videos. I haven't got one of these in a while. How long does it take you to put together one of these videos? Sat and thought about this. It depends. If it's a postcard video that, and I don't know a lot about the postcard, I know of them, but I never really sold them, or I don't know that details, then I do research. I might spend a couple hours researching, looking for information, checking solds, buying some cards, looking at them. Then I put together all the information that I'm delivering here. So that takes a little bit of time. Then to record, it takes about an hour of recording, cut it down on, then I got to edit it. I'm getting better at editing. I was never a film editor, so at first it took a long time for me to figure it out, but I have a technical background, so it didn't take long for me to get up there, and I've changed programs already once, and I found an easier one, so it's cut a lot of time off. Then you got to make the thumbnails and do all the YouTube stuff. I would say typically 4 to 10 hours, depending on the subject and how much stuff is in the video. 6 to 8 hours. A lot of people say that's a lot, but most of my time is in research and putting together the talking points. That's what I like doing. One of the neat things is, as I'm doing this, I'm learning a lot more. I'm learning just as much as you guys about these things on a lot of them. Some of the cards I can go through pretty quick, like the eras and stuff like that, the common knowledge. But just like anthropomorphic cards, I don't deal with them a lot. So I saw those artists, I dug a little bit there. I saw different things. 4 to 10 hours is where I put it. Just depends. The quick videos, those are easy. But the more in-depth ones can get more detail. And I probably obsess over them a little bit more than I should. But I like doing them. I hope you appreciate them. I hope it's helped you. It's helped me tremendously doing these videos. I'll keep putting them out there as long as you guys keep watching. Now there's some other postcards out there that are kind of different as well, and one of them is called 3D lenticular postcards. Those are those ones you move and they, like a hologram. They still make them today. I did a video about those. Check this video out here to learn about 3D postcards and what they're worth. You'd be surprised on some of them. That's all I got for you today. Good luck out there, and I'll catch you on the next one.